There comes a moment in life when you realize that not every word deserves your reply, not every insult deserves your anger, and not every storm deserves your fear. The world will test your patience, people will question your worth, and situations will try to pull you into battles that steal your peace. But true strength is not found in how loudly you react. It is found in how gracefully you remain unshaken. There is a quiet power in walking through life with calm eyes and a steady heart, in choosing dignity over drama and wisdom over wounded pride. When you learn to act as if nothing bothers you, you are not pretending to be strong, you are becoming strong. Because the moment you refuse to let the noise of the world disturb the music of your soul, you step into a deeper kind of freedom, the kind that no criticism, no jealousy, and no negativity can ever take away. There is a kind of strength that does not announce itself with noise. It does not argue for attention, and it does not beg the world to notice. It moves quietly, like the deep roots of a tree growing beneath the earth, unseen yet unshakable. Many people believe strength must be loud, that it must prove itself through anger, through reaction, through a fierce display of emotion. But the truth of life teaches something far more powerful. The strongest souls often walk through the heaviest storms with a calm face and a steady heart. They understand that not every moment requires a reaction, and not every challenge deserves their energy. Life has a way of placing weight upon our shoulders. It sends criticism, disappointment, betrayal, and moments that try to shake our confidence. In those moments, the world sometimes waits for us to collapse. It expects us to answer hurt with hurt, to meet anger with anger, and to prove our pain by letting it spill into the open. Yet quiet strength chooses a different path. It does not mean the heart does not feel. It does not mean the mind does not struggle. It simply means that within the noise of the world, there is a deeper voice that whispers, "You are stronger than this moment." When you learn to act as if nothing bothers you, you are not denying your humanity. You are learning the art of mastery over your own spirit. There is dignity in refusing to let small minds disturb a great heart. There is power in carrying yourself with grace when others expect you to fall apart. The calm person in the room is often the most powerful one, because they are not being controlled by the chaos around them. They are guided by something greater within them, a quiet understanding that their peace is too valuable to be traded for temporary reactions. Think about the mountains that stand tall against the wind. Storms strike them again and again, clouds gather around them, and rain falls heavily upon their surface. Yet the mountain does not shout at the storm. It does not fight the wind with anger. It simply stands. That silent endurance is its power. In the same way, your calmness becomes your strength when the world grows loud. When others lose control, your composure becomes a form of wisdom that cannot easily be shaken. There will be days when people misunderstand you, when their words carry sharp edges, and when circumstances test your patience. In those moments, quiet strength reminds you that you do not need to prove your worth to every voice that questions you. Your value is not decided by the noise of others. It is rooted in the way you rise, the way you continue forward, and the way you protect the peace inside your heart. Over time, this calm resilience becomes something beautiful. It shapes the way you walk through life. You begin to realize that your silence can speak louder than arguments, that your patience can defeat negativity, and that your calm presence can outlast the storms meant to shake you. And in that quiet power, you discover something remarkable. The world may try to disturb you, but your spirit has learned how to remain standing, strong, and unbroken. There is a quiet art to mastering your emotions, and it begins with understanding that not every feeling deserves to become an action. Emotions are natural. They rise within us like waves in the ocean, sometimes calm, sometimes powerful, sometimes overwhelming. But wisdom lies not in stopping the waves from coming, for that is impossible. Wisdom lies in learning how to stand steady while they pass. A disciplined heart does not allow every moment of anger to become harsh words, and it does not allow every moment of pain to become a wound that controls the day. Instead, it pauses, breathes, and chooses its response carefully. Many people live as prisoners of their emotions without realizing it. A single insult can ruin their day. A small criticism can disturb their sleep. A careless comment from someone else can send their thoughts into a storm of doubt and frustration. When that happens, the power over their peace quietly shifts into someone else's hands. Another person's words begin to control their mood, their thoughts, and even their sense of self. Emotional discipline is the moment you take that power back. It is the realization that your inner peace is too valuable to be placed in the hands of people who may not even understand its worth. To master your emotions does not mean you stop feeling. It means you become the guide of your feelings instead of their servant. Imagine holding a lantern in a dark night. The wind may try to shake the flame, but your hands protect it carefully so the light does not disappear. Your peace works in much the same way. The world will always have winds, opinions, judgments, misunderstandings, and moments designed to test your patience. But emotional discipline is the steady hand that shields your inner light so that it continues to shine despite the chaos around it. There is also a deep confidence that grows from this practice. When you no longer react to every small disturbance, people begin to notice a quiet stability within you. They see that their attempts to provoke anger or insecurity do not move you easily, and over time this calm becomes a kind of strength that speaks without words. It shows that you are no longer controlled by the temporary emotions of a single moment. Instead, you are guided by a deeper sense of purpose and self-respect. Life will continue to bring moments that test your patience. There will be misunderstandings that sting, situations that frustrate you, and voices that try to disturb your peace. But emotional discipline reminds you that reacting immediately is not always the same as responding wisely. Sometimes the strongest response is a pause. Sometimes it is silence. Sometimes it is simply walking forward without allowing the negativity of the moment to settle in your heart. And as the days pass, something beautiful begins to happen. The storms that once shook your spirit begin to lose their power. Words that once hurt you begin to feel smaller. Situations that once angered you begin to look less important. You start to see clearly that peace is not something the world gives you. It is something you protect within yourself. When you master your emotions, you place the key to your happiness firmly back in your own hands, where it has always belonged. There is something remarkable about a person who can walk through pressure without allowing it to break their spirit. Life will place moments before you that feel heavy, moments when the weight of expectations, disappointments, and sudden challenges seem to arrive all at once. In those times, many people allow the storm to show on their faces. Their frustration becomes visible, their anger spills into their words, and their worry begins to shape their decisions. But there is another way to move through difficulty, a quieter and far more powerful way. It is the grace that allows a person to carry pressure without letting it steal their dignity. Grace under pressure does not mean life is easy. It does not mean the heart does not feel the strain or the mind does not wrestle with uncertainty. It simply means that within the struggle there is a choice to remain steady. Imagine the calm strength of a river moving around the rocks in its path. The water does not shout at the obstacles before it. It does not stop in frustration. It simply continues to flow, steady and patient, knowing that persistence is stronger than resistance. In much the same way, a graceful spirit moves through pressure with patience rather than panic. There will always be people who expect you to break under the weight of difficulty. Some may even wait to see how you react when life tests you. They watch for the moment when your composure slips, when frustration takes control, or when doubt begins to show in your voice. But grace has a way of surprising the world. It allows you to remain calm when others expect chaos. It allows you to speak with clarity when others expect anger. And sometimes it allows you to say very little at all because your calm presence already says enough. This kind of strength grows slowly. It is not built in a single day or in one moment of courage. It grows each time you face a difficult situation and choose patience over reaction. It grows each time you take a breath instead of letting frustration take control of your words. Over time, these small choices begin to shape your character. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. What once shook your confidence begins to feel like another lesson that life is teaching you. People often misunderstand grace, believing it is a sign of weakness or softness. But in truth, grace requires immense strength. It takes courage to remain composed when emotions are rising within you. It takes discipline to hold your head high when circumstances feel unfair. And it takes deep self-awareness to understand that the way you carry yourself during difficult moments often defines you more than the moments of success. As you continue through life, you will encounter storms that you did not expect. Some will arrive quietly, and others will appear suddenly with great force. Yet the measure of your strength will not be in how loudly you fight those storms, but in how steadily you walk through them. When you learn to carry yourself with grace under pressure, you discover that the wind may blow fiercely around you, but it does not have the power to move the foundation beneath your feet. There comes a point in life when you begin to understand that peace is not something the world simply gives you. It is something you must learn to guard, something you must protect with intention and wisdom. Too often, people move through their days allowing every opinion, every criticism, and every careless word to enter their hearts as if their spirit were an open door. They carry the weight of other people's moods, other people's doubts, and other people's negativity until their own joy begins to fade. But the truth is simple and powerful. Your peace is far too precious to be placed in the hands of those who do not value it. There will always be people who test you. Some will challenge your patience, others will question your worth, and a few may even try to provoke you simply to see how you react. Not because you have done something wrong, but because the world is filled with individuals who carry their own unrest within them. When a person is unsettled inside, they sometimes attempt to disturb the calm they see in others. If you are not careful, you may find yourself pulled into conflicts that were never truly yours to fight. Protecting your peace requires a certain kind of wisdom. It means recognizing that not every comment deserves your response and not every disagreement deserves your attention. Sometimes the greatest victory is walking away from situations that threaten your inner calm. This does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you are avoiding life. It means you understand the value of your emotional energy and you refuse to spend it carelessly. Think about how easily a single moment can disturb an entire day. One harsh remark, one moment of disrespect, one misunderstanding can stay in your mind for hours if you allow it. It begins to repeat itself in your thoughts, growing heavier with each reflection. But the power to stop that cycle has always been within you. The moment you decide that someone else's negativity will not live rent-free in your mind, you begin to reclaim your peace. There is strength in letting certain things pass through your life without holding on to them. Just as the wind moves through the branches of a tree without breaking its roots, small disturbances can move through your day without shaking the foundation of who you are. When you understand this, you stop carrying burdens that were never meant to belong to you. Over time, protecting your peace becomes a habit. You begin to notice the difference between what truly matters and what simply demands attention. You become more careful about where you place your energy, more mindful about the voices you listen to, and more intentional about the thoughts you allow to grow within your mind. The noise of the world may still exist around you, but it no longer controls the rhythm of your heart. And that is where the real victory lies. Not in proving someone wrong, not in winning every argument, and not in reacting to every challenge placed before you. The real victory is waking up each day with a calm spirit and going to sleep each night with your peace still intact. Because when you learn to protect your inner calm, you discover something truly powerful. No matter how loud the world becomes, your spirit remains a place of quiet strength. There is a kind of wisdom that speaks without ever raising its voice. It lives in the quiet moments when a person chooses restraint instead of reaction. In a world where everyone feels the need to answer immediately, to argue, to defend, and to prove themselves, silence can feel unusual. Yet within that silence exists a remarkable strength. It is the strength of a mind that does not feel threatened by every challenge, and a heart that does not need constant validation to know its worth. Many people believe that power lies in having the last word. They believe that if someone questions them, they must respond quickly and firmly. If someone criticizes them, they must fight back with equal force. But life teaches a deeper lesson over time. Not every voice deserves an answer, and not every situation deserves your attention. Sometimes the greatest statement you can make is simply choosing not to engage in the noise. Silence is often misunderstood. Some see it as weakness, as though a quiet response means surrender. But true silence is not surrender at all. It is awareness. It is the understanding that some arguments lead nowhere, some conversations are built only on ego, and some people are more interested in winning than in understanding. When you recognize this, you begin to see that silence can protect you from wasting energy on battles that cannot improve your life. Imagine two fires burning in the darkness. One fire grows larger each time wood is added to it. The other slowly fades because no one continues to feed the flames. Conflict works in much the same way. When anger is met with anger, the fire grows stronger, words become sharper, emotions grow heavier, and the situation spreads further than it ever needed to. But when silence enters the moment, something changes. The fire loses its fuel, the tension slowly weakens, and what once seemed urgent begins to lose its power. There is also a quiet confidence in silence that people often recognize without explanation. When someone refuses to react to provocation, it shows a deep sense of control. It shows that their emotions are not easily manipulated by the words or actions of others. Instead of being pulled into the storm, they remain grounded, calm, and aware. And sometimes that calm presence speaks louder than any argument ever could. Choosing silence does not mean you never speak your truth. There are moments when your voice must rise, when justice and dignity require you to be heard. But wisdom lies in knowing the difference between a moment that needs your voice and a moment that only seeks your reaction. Silence becomes powerful when it is intentional, when it is guided by understanding rather than fear. As you move through life, you may find that some of the most powerful moments happen when you say nothing at all. A calm expression, a quiet departure, or a steady refusal to engage in negativity can leave a deeper impression than 1,000 words spoken in anger. In those moments, silence becomes more than the absence of sound. It becomes a statement of self-respect, a sign of inner control, and a reminder that true strength does not always need to be heard to be understood. Life has a way of touching every soul with moments of pain. No matter how strong, wise, or prepared a person may be, there will come a day when disappointment knocks at the door of their heart. It may arrive through betrayal, through loss, through words that cut deeper than expected, or through dreams that quietly fall apart. Pain is a visitor that does not ask permission before it enters. Yet the true measure of a person is not found in whether they feel pain, but in how they choose to carry it. Many people believe pain must always be visible. They believe that when life wounds them, the only honest response is to collapse beneath its weight, or to allow bitterness to shape their actions. But there is another way to face hurt, a quieter and more dignified path. It is the ability to transform pain into poise. It is the courage to stand tall even when the heart feels heavy, to move forward with grace even when the soul has been deeply tested. When someone learns to carry pain with dignity, they discover a kind of strength that few people truly understand. This strength does not deny the wound. It does not pretend that the struggle never happened. Instead, it acknowledges the hurt while refusing to let it define the future. Like a tree that bends under a strong wind but does not break, a person with poise learns how to endure without losing the beauty of their character. Pain often tempts us toward anger or resentment. When someone hurts us, the natural impulse is to return the pain, to respond with harsh words or hardened hearts. Yet that path rarely brings peace. It only spreads the same darkness that caused the wound in the first place. Poise, however, chooses something different. It chooses dignity over revenge. It chooses calm over chaos. And in doing so, it preserves the part of the spirit that pain tries so desperately to damage. There is also something quietly powerful about a person who refuses to let their wounds become their identity. They continue to walk through life with kindness in their voice and patience in their steps. Others may never fully see the battles they have fought within themselves, but the strength is there, woven into their character. Their calm presence carries a story of resilience that words could never fully explain. Turning pain into poise does not happen overnight. It is a gradual transformation that takes place through reflection, patience, and the willingness to grow beyond the moment that caused the hurt. Each time a person chooses grace instead of bitterness, they reshape the way pain lives within them. Instead of becoming a scar that hardens the heart, it becomes a lesson that deepens their wisdom. And with time, something extraordinary begins to happen. The very experiences that once felt like wounds begin to shape a stronger and more compassionate spirit. The person who has known pain begins to understand others more deeply. Their patience grows wider, their empathy grows stronger, and their dignity becomes unshakable. In the end, pain may visit every life, but it does not have to steal the beauty of who you are. When you transform your wounds into quiet strength and your struggles into grace, you prove something powerful to the world and to yourself, that even when life tests your heart, your spirit can still rise with dignity, calm, and unbreakable poise. There is a quiet dignity that grows within a person who truly respects themselves. It does not need applause, and it does not seek constant approval from the world. Self-respect lives in the choices you make each day, especially in the moments when someone invites you into conflict, negativity, or disrespect. In those moments, acting as if nothing bothers you is not about pretending that you feel nothing. It is about remembering your worth and refusing to let someone else pull you beneath the level of your own character. Many people react quickly when they feel challenged. A harsh word invites another harsh word. A moment of disrespect sparks an argument. Pride begins to speak louder than wisdom, and before long the situation becomes heavier than it ever needed to be. But a person who carries self-respect understands something important. They understand that not every comment deserves their voice, and not every challenge deserves their attention. Their silence is not weakness. It is a quiet declaration that their dignity is too valuable to be traded for temporary emotions. Self-respect teaches you to choose your battles carefully. It reminds you that your energy is limited and precious, and that spending it on every moment of negativity only drains the strength you could be using to build something meaningful in your life. When you honor yourself, you begin to step away from unnecessary conflict. You stop trying to prove your worth to people who have already decided not to see it. Instead, you place your focus on the path ahead of you rather than the noise surrounding you. Imagine walking through a crowded marketplace where voices are loud and everyone is calling for your attention. Some voices speak with kindness, but others call out with criticism, judgment, or provocation. If you stopped to respond to every single voice, you would never reach your destination. You would spend your entire journey explaining yourself, defending yourself, and arguing with strangers who may never understand you. Self-respect allows you to keep walking. It allows you to hear the noise without letting it determine the direction of your steps. There is also a deep confidence that grows when you live this way. You begin to realize that your value does not increase because someone praises you, and it does not decrease because someone criticizes you. Your worth remains steady because it comes from within. Once you understand that truth, the opinions of others lose the power they once held over your emotions. Their words may still exist, but they no longer control the way you see yourself. People who lack self-respect often feel the need to react to everything. They believe that defending themselves in every moment proves their strength, yet the opposite is often true. The strongest individuals are the ones who know when a response is unnecessary. Their calm behavior sends a message that does not require explanation. They know who they are, and they are not easily shaken by the opinions of the world. Over time, this quiet confidence becomes part of your presence. Others begin to sense that you cannot easily be pulled into drama or negativity. Your calmness becomes a boundary that protects your peace. It reminds the world that while you may listen, observe, and understand, you will not lower your spirit to match the chaos around you. And that is the true power of self-respect. It allows you to walk through life with your head high and your heart steady. It reminds you that acting unbothered is not an act of pretending. It is an act of honoring the value within you, choosing dignity over distraction, and protecting the peace that your spirit deserves. There is a remarkable freedom that comes from knowing who you are. When a person truly understands their own worth, when they have looked deeply into the mirror of their soul and embraced both their strengths and their imperfections, the opinions of others begin to lose their power. No longer do every criticism, every judgment, or every misunderstanding weigh heavily on the heart. Instead, they pass like leaves floating on a river, visible for a moment, yet incapable of altering the steady flow of your life. Walking with unshakable confidence is not about arrogance or a need to prove yourself. It is about knowing that your value is inherent, unchanging, and not dependent on the approval of others. Many people move through life seeking validation, hoping that if enough eyes see them, if enough voices praise them, they will finally feel worthy. This is a dangerous trap because the world is full of opinions, and most of them are shaped by fear, ignorance, or envy. When you give your power to these external voices, you surrender your peace and your clarity. Confidence grows quietly when you stop chasing the judgments of others and begin to anchor yourself in the truth of who you are. It is the steady awareness that while the world may comment, criticize, or question, none of it can define the core of your being. Walking with confidence means making choices from a place of clarity rather than fear. It is the courage to speak your truth even when it is unpopular, to follow your path even when others doubt it, and to embrace your dreams even when the world suggests you cannot achieve them. Confidence is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in spite of it. It is the understanding that your journey belongs to you and you alone, and that no opinion can alter your right to walk your path with purpose. There will be moments when the world tests your resolve. People may whisper behind your back, some may openly challenge you, and situations may try to shake your belief in yourself. In these moments, unshakable confidence becomes a shield. It allows you to observe without absorbing, to listen without being manipulated, and to act without hesitation. It is the quiet power of knowing that your worth is not negotiable, that your spirit is resilient, and that your decisions come from a place of integrity rather than insecurity. Confidence also carries a natural elegance. When you are secure in who you are, you do not need to argue or prove yourself constantly. Your presence alone speaks volumes. Others begin to sense the steadiness within you, the clarity of your purpose, and the unwavering foundation upon which you stand. They may try to distract you, criticize you, or push against you, but your calm certainty acts like an anchor in a storm, keeping you balanced and grounded while the world swirls around you.